on consultants opportunities for faculty. Fourth day program. Today we have three speakers with us. We'll be talking about opportunity in consultancy in the field of civil engineering. As a first speaker, we have Engineer Rajguru PM, Managing Director, Tech Lab, and Rajguru was also BIT alumni. Within FDP program and consultancy guidelines for our opportunity in consultancy. For further introduction of, I will now request Professor Mallikarjun, Department of Civil Engineering, to introduce today's speaker.
Good afternoon, sir. I welcome all the faculties, HODs to this session. Good afternoon, all. I, Mallikarjuna K, Assistant Professor, Department of Civil Engineering, BIT. It's my privilege to introduce today's speaker, Engineer Rajguru VM. Engineer Rajguru completed his Bachelor in Civil Engineering from BIT 1979 to 1984 batch. Engineer Rajguru VM started his career as a lecturer in BIT in the year 1987. After that, sir has worked as a preparator from 1989 to 1995. Further, he has worked as a GPA holder of R. Maheshwara Naidu Engineers Contractors from 1995 to 2006. Sir is a director for Jain Projects Private Limited from 2006 to 2021. Sir is a director for Saptagiri Buildtech Private Limited from 2012 to 2013. Sir has worked as managing director for Jain Project Limited from 2013 to 21. Sir is involved in major projects like AV Hospital Factory Building at Kunigal and also Rural Water Supply Scheme sponsored by World Bank headed project. Construction of Outer Ring Road from Magadi Road to Mysore Road BDA. Junction improvement of Bannerghatta Flyover BDA project. Junction improvement of Whitefield Flyover BDA. Rehabilitation of road under K-Ship World Bank headed project. Rehabilitation of project from Srirangpatna to Chinya under K-Ship World Bank headed project. Rehabilitation of Chinya to under K-Ship World Bank headed project. Construction and improvement of road from Kogiliu to Devanhalli via Baglur and from Devnalli to Nandi Hills under PWD project. Construction concrete road from KSRTC bus stand to Tunga Bridge via BH Road, Amir Ahmad Circle, Shumaga under PWD. Sir is involved in construction of Gandhi Bhavan guest house. Sir is involved in construction of Kalkere Lake under BBMP. Sir is involved in a prestigious project and is act as a project management consultant of Storm Water Drain BBMP. Sir has given continuous support to Department of Civil Engineering right from his career. Sir has giving more than 50% of 50% students internship and projects, and he is guiding us like faculty and students to be in contact with industry. So, sir, with this brief introduction, I request Engineer Rajguru sir to deliver insightful talk on consultancy opportunities for faculty in the field of civil engineering. Thank you, sir, and over to you, sir, Rajguru sir.
Thank you, Mallikarjun.
Thank you, sir.
I, VM Rajguru. I think most of the things Mallikarjun has explained about me. I thank you all for giving me this opportunity to share my experience and also give what is the opportunities for the faculty members as a consulting engineers in the field of civil engineering. I will share a PPT.
ಸೂರಜ್ ಸರ್ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಬಾಲಕೃಷ್ಣ.
ಸರ್ ನಮಸ್ತೆ.
ನಮಸ್ತೆ.
ಶೇರ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಮಲ್ಲಿಕಾರ್ಜುನ್, ಶೇರ್ ಆಗಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ?
ಸರ್ ಇಲ್ಲ.
ಒನ್ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ? ಇದೆ ಇದೆ. ಇದೆ ಇದೆ.
Yes, sir. We can able to see the share.
See, straight away I'll go into the subject. See, layers of professional service. You can see it is a site inspection and site visit, supervision concepts, engineering designs and drawings. Providing services on turnkey basis includes EPC, that is called engineering, procurement and construction, and PMC, that is called project management consultancy. And in that you have to schedule it, drive and monitor, and certifying the agency for the clients and coordinate between the clients and the contractors. And turnkey projects also you can have. The boot concepts is there, then deboot concept also there, then PPP model all there. All these professional service require the consulting services. See, to become a consultant, first you should have an attitude and your behavior and commitment, the discipline, time sense, passion of learning, yes. Passion of learning, upgrading both formal and informal ways, acquiring skill set to demonstrate, proving yourself, and clarity in the communication. These are the requirement for a successful consultant. Have sense with what you talk, leadership skills, patience to listen, respect the client's emotional concepts to project. Project belongs to client, accommodate, the project belongs to client. So we have to accommodate their needs without compromising a justifiable manner. Have a smart and professional approach to collect your fee also. Always ensure you are all necessity to the client. Do not carry any hard feelings. Respect everyone. Create and provide space for everyone, having good communication with the colleagues, clients, and the field team. And for this, what you have to prepare? That means you have to acquire the additional engineering knowledge with the strong fundamental through formal education, working in turn in consulting firms to understand how concept involved and the way concept can be related to baseline data finally integrated into design, followed by drawings and execution. Working in a site for a decent tenure to have knowledge of logistic and implementation, phasing of activities, material procurement, and the way in which the information from the drawings are translated to the realities. Check the measures for the quality control and quality assurance. The material planning, indent, procurement, and execution meeting the deadline and compliances. See, invest your time in the project sites of different kind. See, as we come out in our case, These are the main domains of civil engineering: structural engineering, geotechnical, hydraulics engineering, environmental, construction technology, highway engineering, and engineering survey. But now you name anything, that is a domain for civil engineers. See, present generation projects are highly diversified, complex in nature, and disciplinary, involving services of structural engineering, geotechnical engineering, hydrology, environmental and electromechanical engineering. See, each consultant has his own role to play with on the time deliverables to accommodate in conceptual stage, design and execution. Timely deliverables are very essential. Imagine in a situation just like a light boy, a cameraman, a director and a producer working together for a movie. Everything comes bits and pieces, but the outcome will have a theme, entertainment and message to the society. So you are either playing a light boy, a cameraman, a director, or a producer, or editor role. Our goal should be the end result.
ಮಲ್ಲಿಕಾರ್ಜುನ್ ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ರಿ ಬೇರೆಯವ್ರನ್ನ. ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡಿ ಸರ್.
See, role of institute to become a good consulting center, you have to motivate the staff, they create the opportunity of learning, search for opportunity for skill upgradation, depute and train the capacity building, use your vocation plus 3 months of deputation, and this should be repetitive in nature and frequency at least once in 5 years before revision of syllabus with every 5 years. The outcome will be a confident staff with a good field information and knowledge capable of to take up assignments. The knowledge transfer with a strong fundamentals in the field. Knowledge transfer from the field to classrooms, image building and promoting the consulting center. See, ultimately what is really required is the management or the other this thing has to create a infrastructure totally independent and which should have a infrastructure with a professional culture and the ambiences. Provide a platform for the students to begin their career from BIT itself. Hold them till they stabilize, mentor them, guide through their projects, share the revenue. They will be pillars to the pillar of strength and ambassadors for the future of consulting centers. See, main thing is you have to establish a incubation centers, which is definitely a separate from the regular your rooms. And actually it should have a separate administrative block and the accounts block, and also you should have a separate entity in the sense legal entity. That means you should have a separate GST, separate PAN number, where you can collect and raise your bills or whatever to communicate with the client, whoever it is. See, you can hire capable and competent faculty aware of administrative procedures to kickstart a project, launch and promote, mentor the student entrepreneurs, create skill and technology development centers, procure softwares for the designs validations of the complex site solutions. As far as my knowledge is concerned, the Bangalore Institute of Technology has all the above features, except you have to create an ambience. You have to create the legal entity where you can enter into the market or anywhere else. See, what is the ultimately outcome of this? See, along with this, you have to create R&D center, very strong R&D centers, wherein you can bring the new technologies, new experiences from others, and put it in the action. See, ultimately, what you require for all these things is the money. See, investment of knowledge, infrastructure, incentives, capability of building hold cost is there as a capital cost. The incentives and recurring expenses, operational expenses, sustainable revenue model for a decent return on investment. See, you are asking about the opportunities. I will tell you one example. See, in Bangalore, we have got 400 kilometers of stormwater drain. See, 400 kilometers of stormwater drain throughout the Bangalore of 32,000 square meters of area, in which now new initiative has been taken care, that is called as waterway project. That is just a 9.2 kilometers length, which starts from NR Road, that is a chainage of 1,800 to 11,200, which is starts from NR Road to Bellandur Lake. It's a totally 9.2 kilometer stretch, wherein in this the total water is running is a sewage water, as well as during the rainy season the rain runoff will be there. So this stretch now it has been going to be created as a waterway project, wherein the people can walk inside the stormwater drain and make the water clean. So for which, see, we have got this project and just we have started 2-3 months back, and we already in a stage of mock-up. See, in this, what all to be done? Primarily, we have to arrest the drain, the sewage water into the drain. The next, wherever the outlets are coming, that has to be mapped, and there is a utilities inside the stormwater drain that has to be removed. And see, in this, we will start with the mock-up. See, this is the stretch which we are going to mock up. That is, it is the 300-meter stretch, which is in front of the BMTC, this thing, BMTC and KSRTC depot. So this has been just recently on 25th March, the CM has made a Gudli Puja. So in this, all the factors as a consulting engineer is required. One is the hydrology, second one is the data analysis, third one is the surveying, fourth one is the whatever the the mock-up. In that architectural it will also come, wherein the estimation will come, then rehabilitation of some of the bridges, around 25 bridges are there, so bridge designing will come, and then sewage treatment plant will come, because during the rainy season the stormwater drain will act as a pathway for the water, and during the summer season it will be dry. So for which what we are doing is we are drawing a sewage water from the drain and treat it in a STP and let it given to the stormwater drain, wherein the water will run throughout the year. So that is what the plan is. So in this project, see, all the activities will come. One is the surveying, the consultancy will be there, design will be there, the planning will be there, estimation will be there, as well as the electrical will be there, and totally see, and also in electrical we are doing this networking also. In that means CC networking will be there, free Wi-Fi, the Wi-Fi connections also will be made available throughout the length of the drain, and automatic control of gates during the rainy season. They will close the gates during the rainy season. That will be automatic. So all electrical, mechanical, and electronics, the software, it has to be involved in this. See, likewise, the consultancy will have, this is the ultimate picture we are going to have in opposite to the BMC depot. This is what we have planned. See, this is what the cross section is. See, and you can see the high flood level Up to that means during the summer season, the water level will be just 0.4 meters above the bed level, and wherein you can walk all along the pathways. So this is the cross section from the KH Road, and this is from the opposite side. This is what we are planning now, and it will be executed within 10 months. So this is the top view of it. So this is the existing, and this is going to be like this. So all these things, I have been involved in total technical details about this project from 9 kilometers. Just imagine, now we have total of 400 kilometers of stormwater drain. How much consultancy opportunities will be there in just one stormwater drain project? So these are the cross sections. This is during the night, so wherein the electrical it will be totally controlled by in a ward room. So networking, everything will be monitored from one place. So this is the top view in the night. So this is the existing stormwater drain which on the left side. On the right side, you can see we have just cleaned out it. Desilting has been done, and this is the one, and this is going to be. So then who is going to build the cat? That means you have a plenty of opportunity just in one project. You imagine how many projects are there. You have to actually yourself motivate yourself and present what is really required for the citizen of Karnataka. And your knowledge and can definitely be implemented through the consultancy. Say institution have everything in their capacity, except you have to, the institution has to create a separate entity wherein these professor or lecturers, everyone can have the opportunity to use, make the consultancy for the public. And ultimately you can see the main thing is the attitude, the behavior, discipline, commitment, and meeting the deadlines, professional integrity and ethics, manual respect the driving forces, which will be the main objective of this consultancy. And thank you. And one more thing is, say, I will introduce one person, probably you might be knowing him. I will introduce Mr. Rangnath, who was the faculty member in Bangalore Institute of Technology. He is joined me as a hydrology consultant for this project and is delivering the required data for this project. So you can imagine what will be if one person can do the things like this. If almost how many people are there in the college can deliver, what are the things? 31 professionals are there in civil engineering. How much they can deliver in the field of the consultancy? Thank you.
So thank you everyone, and I compliment all the efforts from the organizers for organizing this session, and thank you Balkrishna, it was a surprise, okay, from Rajguru side. So I've been associated with him for the past 2 months, working on this citizen waterway project, particularly involved with hydraulics and hydrological data analysis and environmental engineering aspects of it. So it's happy to see you all on this platform. Over to Balkrishna.
Thank you, Rajguru sir and Rangnath sir. It is surprising for me also to see Rangnath with you. I thought he will be working in the field. Today you are sitting with him. It is a surprise for me. And to the audience, I would like to say Rajguru sir is a constant source of inspiration for civil engineering department. he has discussed this issue of consultancy with us many a times, and he has given the direction. We are in line. Of course, Rangnath sir has taken the permission to open the account from Rajya Vakalegra Sangha, and we are processing it. Once we get PAN and GST, we can do it legally without any fear.
So-
And Rajguru sir,
One
as I said,
suggestion, sir.
he is a multifaceted personality, and he has got wonderful experience. So nice to hear from you, sir. We will implement all your suggestions, and I request you to visit BIT and talk to.
Balkrishna sir, you're muted.
Voice is not audible.
Yes, now it is audible, sir.
Okay. I thank Rajguru sir and Rangnath sir for the nice presentation. Rajguru sir, I request you once again to visit BIT and talk to our professors. We need a lot of inputs from you people. Thank you very much, sir.
Excuse me, sir. This is Smita from the electrical department. Can I
Yeah.
speak to Mr. Rajguru?
Yeah, sure.
Sure. Good afternoon, sir. Sir, I'm in the electrical department. Can we have our students for internship for this project? There are 6 semester students who will have to do it for the next semester.
Definitely, ma'am, definitely. See, there is a lot of scope for the electrical engineers as well. And those who are really interested in electrical and as well as the electronics for networking. So there is definitely a scope. We'll have a total throughout the length. We'll have a CC camera, and it will be monitored at the ward room at one place and totally controlled from there itself. The opening, the light management, everything. And during the festivals, we have a display units, which will be like, suppose in the next this thing, I can able to call my electrical consultant who can definitely present a beautiful PPT for you, which is going to be
Yes, sir.
in 10 months later.
Madam, just I have a small thing to add here. This project addresses all these safety issues, adopting latest IT technologies and artificial intelligence and IoT. That's number one. Number two, it will function like a recreational center, whereby the safety issues again will be a concern. And number three, security issues will also be addressed, utilizing the IT technology. So as a whole, this is not a storm water project. This is a very smart water drainage project. So that way you can just conclude there is a lot of scope for engineering students to participate and just take up as that project.
And one more thing is this a turnkey project wherein we can introduce new technologies like the normal structures in bridge engineering is the cost control. Now we can introduce whatever the bridges, new technology bridges, corrugated steel bridges or girder bridges, which is the different technology, and prefabricated we can utilize, and pre-tension or post-tension we can utilize. It is our own designed project will be, not like a regular the department. See, now many projects are like this are coming, wherein you can introduce the new technologies which is not there really in India, and we can introduce these projects in these projects.
Sir,
Thank
we
you, sir.
have a principal online, I think. Sir? The principal also seems to have logged in.
Yeah, I'm there.
Sir, you can talk to Rangaraj sir.
Sir, namaste.
Namaste,
Namaste,
Ashwat.
sir.
Namaste, Ashwat.
Yeah, namaste, sir. This year.
Namaste, sir.
Yeah. Today, too many parallel activities are happening. The VTO project competition is also going on.
Okay. See, actually,
sir.
main motivation is the Dr. Ashwath. See, if he have already many times when we met him, he is interested in having the consultancy opportunity for the faculty members. He is the main force, in fact, what I feel is, along with Mr. Balkrishna.
Now the target is given for civil department, especially since both of you are there. GCR is used to the department. He knows how to motivate. At least in the next 1.5 years, we are planning at least some 10 crores consultancy for civil department.
So one example I will give you. See, present the metro rail, which already come up. See, if the consultancy team was there, in fact, before the starting of this the metro train, we have approached the CM going for the underground metro up in all the directions, just like it has come up in near BIT, above the ground. So instead of coming over there, if it had come after the Kanakpura road, similarly in Yeshwanthpur, it should have come after the Pinya. Similarly, on the other side, Benganalli, it should have been after the Kyarpuram. Like that, if the things would have been happened, the traffic management would have been very easier. Now, each and every junction required separate consultancy team now. Each and every junction. It's a separate solution is required. You can imagine what is the consultancy team is required for Bangalore, this thing, in terms of road management, stormwater management, the BWSSB water supply management, and also hydrology management and the lake development. So we have got total lake, nearly about 32 lakes are there. Now it is only 22 lakes. So all these things, unless otherwise consultancy enters and approaches the new idea to the government of Karnataka, the things will not going to happen, which has to be done. Till now, what is the basic infrastructure which has been possible by the government, which has been given? Now it has to be turned into a proper manner so that everyone can able to utilize the in proper manner. Sir.
Even in addition to road management, the flyover maintenance is also a major concern because regular monitoring is not possible by the department. So, in fact, 2-3 years back, we initiated that each flyover closer to the engineering colleges should be monitored. And that is also a large opportunity for all the engineering colleges to take up along with their MTech students. So, a lot of opportunities are there. I think independently, maybe departments, maybe it is difficult to manage. Maybe people like you, if you join hands together, we can do a lot of work for the major infrastructure projects.
Right, sir. Actually, in the presentation, I think you were not there. See, the separate entity has to be created. Who is going to be responsible for round the clock and utilize the faculty members when it is required. So that is the requirement mainly from the management, sir.
Okay.
Any questions, sir? You can ask me.
So audience, you have any other question to ask? Audience, do you have any other question to ask?
I can see many other department faculty also here. Now the major infrastructure projects, the kind of consultancy is more on interdisciplinary nature. the electronics faculty, this computer science faculty or mechanical faculty, together jointly we can do a lot of things because especially the smart city projects. It is a lot of interdisciplinary works are also there. I think it will be very easy for an engineering college to take up such works, collaborating with the other departments. So that also can be explored by the consultancy coordinators of all the departments.
So in fact, Ashwath, just to keep you posted with this information, Rajguru is just handling a new project which is called a Citizen Waterway Project. So in fact, that's a project which runs through the heart of Bangalore, right, starting from City Market to Bellandur Lake, having a stretch of around 9.2 kilometers, wherein there is a lot of scope for interdisciplinary participation of Bangalore's top technology along with engineer Rajguru's team. So there is scope for a lot of opportunities, and we can always involve, particularly connected to the IT-based solutions. One is they are viewing from two things. One is effective management of stormwater discharges and stormwater flow, number one. Number two, creating a recreation center all along the drain, the beautification of the stormwater drain. And number next stage is again make it a safe passage for the users or the beneficiaries or the utilities. So, and they're just integrating all this network monitoring system for 24/7 surveillance as far as the safety issues is concerned, security issues is concerned, both for operation and maintenance. This we cannot call it as a stormwater management project. It could be as well named as a smart water management project. So that's why the whole thing, because I've been interacting with this thing for the past 2 months, and I've been appraised about all these possibilities. There's a lot of opportunity to think in a new avenue for BIT team to have a better interaction and get the maximum benefit from ex-alumni of BIT Rajput.
Sir, in fact, stress that there are 4 to 5 departments who can benefit from this, the project that is going on, like electrical, electronics, mechanical, and computer science. We have faculty from these various departments. I request faculty if you have any questions, you can ask the speaker and get it clarified about the opportunities that is possible in this project. Any audience?
Sir,
Any
this is
questions?
Shweta from the electrical department. Just now you told me it would take about 10 months by the time your consultant, electrical engineering consultant would get ready with this. Can our student join now, even when he's doing about the survey of also?
Yeah, you
Can
can
our
definitely,
students join?
it has been started already now. You can join with the electrical team and you can have the interaction with the electrical team and you can take part in the execution also.
Okay, sir.
What faculty from electronics department?
Sir, how can we approach the government projects like what you have been involved in so many government projects, BBMP or
Yeah,
PWD? So
yeah,
how we
we
can approach and how we can give our consultancy service to them?
see, because for that, what you need is the establishment first. When you have the establishment, you can propose the scheme. For example, any scheme, any new scheme you can propose with the presentation to the directly to the CM, wherein directly it can be entrusted to the Bangalore Institute of Technology. Likewise, now this project has been created by Venkatraman Associates. He is an architect. He had got the vision. So from that vision, he is presented this scheme, the Citizen Waterway Project, to the Chief Minister. Then Chief Minister got impressed and immediately he is implemented this project, and directly it has been monitored by the Chief Minister. One secretary is deputed for this project, and every Thursday we are having these meetings. And within 10 months it has been proposed. Probably maybe it may take another 2 months extra, but definitely we will going to complete within this 10 months.
Mallikarjun, I want to share you one thing. Here there is lot of scope and opportunity if you are capable to identify the problems which are really bothering the society. That's number one. You should be able to understand what the current problem is. Number one. You should come out with a concept. Number two. You should come out with the technology that you are capable to cater. Then you should come out with clarity, with a neat presentation, so that you are able to communicate what you have in mind and the proper approach, and the resources required. And it's a teamwork, and you should aggregate all your resources, not only you, entire team, the resources of BIT, so that you can take it forward. Any new proposal is always solicited. Only thing is how effectively you are going to communicate to the concerned authorities is very important. And finally, what is the measurable benefit that you are going to get out of that? What is the risk associated? What are the benefits you are going to get out of that in numbers? That is, statistical presentation is also equally important. One is investment, the return on investment, the sustainable model. So the overall technology should be revolving around these three concepts. So you are always open to come out with a new concept. Only thing is we need a fresh mind which can always think fresh and come out with new proposals like a child. So have child in your mind, think fresh, try. You may be a failure, but it's a process of elimination. I wish you all the best.
One more thing is, actually in Karnataka or any other governments, the preparation of DPR, the detailed project report, has been given to the private agencies, any agencies. Similarly, the PMC, project management, that also it's a must for any project, whether it is a small project or a big project. Both the DPR is also required and the PMC is required.
Institute is required any accreditation for that, sir, to approve DPR?
So the basic qualification what we require is the entity, that is the registration in the government of Karnataka. That is, you should have a GST. Then the experience, definitely the Bangalore Institute of Technology, whatever your experience, which can be taken into the account as this thing, and presenting to the, suppose if you do not have that projects, you can have a joint ventures, or otherwise if any contractor takes this EPC contract or the turnkey projects, from them you can back these contracts. For example, Venkatraman Associates, they have backed the project for project management consultant from the government of Karnataka, and that is nothing but BBMP. I have taken up from the contractor the total consultancy for this project. So likewise, you can directly enter in.
Thank you, sir.
Any other question from the audience? Since there is no other question, sir. Sir, you gave us a very detailed information regarding how one should go about doing consultancy, and you gave us various professional services where consultancy can be started, and you also stressed the attitude to be a good consultant and the requirement for a successful consultant, prerequisite of a good consultant, and you listed out a certain domain for civil engineers and stress the role of institute for developing a good consultancy, also necessity of independent infrastructure for a good consultancy, and incubation center establishment with independent entities are necessity at college level to have a consultancy. And also you indicated that a strong R&D centers are required for supporting this consultancy. And at the end, you gave us a vast opportunities available in the area of your work for multidisciplinary faculty and students at BIT. Overall, it was a very nice talk by you, sir, indicating as what should be the quality of a consultant, necessity of independent entity at the college level, and also the opportunities available for the engineers. And on behalf of our management, principal, and faculty of BIT, we wholeheartedly thank you for your taking time off and coming to here and giving us good informative talk, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
I also thank you all for giving me the opportunity for presenting this. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you, sir.
everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rajguru. Thank you, GCR.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
thank you, sir.
Sir.
Mallikarjun,
Thank
sir,
you, sir.
second
Rajguru and
speaker
Rangnath, sir.
Padidara.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
ಸರ್ ರಂಗನಾಥ್ ನಾ ಯಾರು ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತಾ?
Huh?
ನಾನು ಯಾರು
Hello.
ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತಾ ಸರ್?
Satish.
ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಆನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಸರ್.
Oh,
On ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ.
ನಾಗರಾಜ್ IC department.
okay, sir. Nagaraj. Yes, sir.
Nagaraj from IC department, sir. Very nice to see you, sir, in your new position.
Thank you, sir.
And happy to see you working still.
Long way to go.
Yes, sir. Yes. You are very active, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. All the best, sir.
Thank you, sir. Bye-bye. Take care.
Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Sir, Mallikarjun, sir.
Sir.
ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀರಾ ರವಿಶಂಕರ್ ಅವರು?
He is going to join in another 5 minutes, sir.
Prakash was there earlier.
ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅವ್ರು ಆಮೇಲೆ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ ಸರ್. 3:30 ಪ್ರಕಾಶ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಮಿಂಗ್ ಸರ್.
Okay.
ನಮ್ಮ ಫ್ಯಾಕಲ್ಟಿ ಅವರು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಮೋರ್ ಇನ್ವಾಲ್ವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಸರ್. ಏನೋ ಅವ್ರು ಯಾರು ಇನ್ವಾಲ್ವ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ.
ಅದು ಸಪರೇಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಸರ್.
ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅಟ್ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ಒಂದ್ 2-3 ಪರ್ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆದ್ರೂ ಆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಸಿಪೇಷನ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಸಾಕಲ್ವಾ ಸರ್? 2 to 3 people at least per department.
74 ಜನ ಇದಾರಲ್ಲ.
ಇದಾರೆ, ಬಟ್
9 ಜನ ಇದ್ರು ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಗೆ.
ಅಲ್ಲ, ದೇ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಮೇಕಿಂಗ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿಸ್ ಆಪರ್ಚುನಿಟಿ ಅನ್ನೋದೇ ಈಗ.
So the regular academic accreditation, the laboratories are also need to take accreditation from the Quality Council of India, QCI. And some labs, identified labs, if we can apply for NABL accreditation, we can get lot of testing assignments, especially electronics, civil, mechanical, these branches. So it is another area of consultancy, giving proper test results as per the standards. So that also people can look into.
ಸರ್, ಈಗ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕಲ್ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರು ಒಂದು ಹೈ ವೋಲ್ಟೇಜ್ ಎಸ್ಟಾಬ್ಲಿಷ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ.
Thank you very much for accepting.
Good
to be
afternoon.
with us.
Pleasure to see you after a long time.
Yeah, become very busy.
I came running today from Kanakpura Road.
Okay.
I was on the field visit this morning.
Shankar sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, good afternoon. Great.
Good afternoon, Sir Ravi Shankar. We welcome you for this 5 days FTB program on consultants opportunities for faculty at BIT. Engineer Ravi Shankar is a managing partner, Duro Material. Further introduction of Sir Ravi Shankar will be given by Professor Kavya Shri, Professor Civil Department. It's over to Kavya Shri, Madam.
Thank you, Nagraj sir, for giving me the opportunity. It gives me immense pleasure in introducing this session speaker, Engineer Ravi Shankar M. He's a managing partner, Dura Materials and Service LLP. He was a managing partner for Greenfit Global. He was a chairman for Indian Concrete Institute, Bangalore Center, Karnataka. He was president for Ready Mix Concrete Manufacturers Association India. He obtained his master's degree in marine structures from NIT Surathkal and did his advanced diploma in concrete technology from CGLI, UK. He started his career as a lecturer in Malad College of Engineering, Hassan, for 3.5 years. He has worked in the building materials industry from past 28 years. In his tenure, he has worked with various chemicals used in construction industry. He's worked with RMC industry since its inception in India and has contributed immensely for the growth and development of the RMC industry in the country. Ravi Shankar sir is also responsible for the development and promotion of chemical admixtures for concrete. As a president and secretary of RMCMA, he played a major role in implementing RMCMA quality scheme plan certification. As the chairman of ICI, he conducted numerous national and international programs and played a major role in bridging the gap between academics and industry by organizing various activities for the students. He is a member of many professional bodies and an executive committee member of KEA, that is Karnataka Employers Association, since 2012. He has received many awards. To name a few, an eminent engineer in April 2016. He was awarded as industry captain from the 10th CIDC Vishwakarma Award 2018 from the Planning Commission, Government of India. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for accepting our invitation. We are very happy to have you with us, sir. Over to you, sir.
Thanks very much, madam. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good to see the faculty development. Just before that, I'm audible. Am I audible?
Voice is little slow, sir.
Mic hatra, so you have to come near the mic, sir. Closer to mic.
The mic side only. Okay. Is it okay? A little bit better now? Am I audible now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now it's okay.
Okay. Right, sir. I was saying it's good to see the faculty development program happening in BIT very frequently. Maybe a couple of months ago, I was supposed to deliver a lecture on the ready-mix concrete. And again, the reason is the same with due to the pandemic situation. I had to cancel the last moment. So today I thought, though since morning I was moving to the site, still I thought I must come back, and even if it's 5-10 minutes late, I must make it. Thanks again for the management for giving me this opportunity to share my thoughts with all of you. Today's program, I'm sure, looking at the agenda, I've seen over the last few days, various speakers have discussed on various topics That's basically, one second, I'll share the PPT also. One second. Whether my screen is visible?
Yes, sir, it is visible. Need to go for slideshow. Yes. Yes, it is
Yeah.
visible.
Okay. Yeah. One second.
Sir, before you start, I take your permission to log out because there is another VTU university competition is going on. I just wanted to say hello to you and log in. Thank you very much, and please share all your expertise with our faculty. And another request from my side to you is something on materials. Can we start a center of excellence at BIT?
Absolutely.
We have our regular labs, and you are an expert in materials, and maybe some collaborative joint work on Center of Excellence can be thought of, so that we'll be very happy.
Certainly, sir. I just wanted to say, actually, just before you leave, I was just mentioning that various topics and various speakers have discussed in Delta over the last 2 days. But I must say, without any hesitation, that BIT management has got Dr. Ashwin, the leader, the principal, and the civil engineers, who can speak about all areas of the discipline what we are talking about over the last 2 days. And another point to mention is actually BIT is one institution that industry and the institute collect is excellent actually, because you have got everything actually. So there is no reason why it cannot move from the present level to the next level. I'm sure certainly it will happen. So thanks for your presence, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. So what I was saying, various speakers have discussed, over the last few days on various topics. And I'm sure, just before this presentation, I think Civitech Lab MD also spent time on the materials. I also understand from Professor Mallikarjun that there's already a good level of consultancy happening in BIT for the industry. Starting from planning to design, water resource engineering, steel, many areas, already good amount of consultancy is happening actually. I would say, moving forward, the untapped areas of other discipline need to be taken up. And again, from the present level of consultancy to the next level, so how do we take it up? I think that may be the main reason of organizing this faculty development program. And if you permit me to say the third point, I would say that, of course, there are a lot of senior professors who are theoretically very strong and practically also doing a lot of work in the industry. But there are young professors also. Maybe this platform, by interaction with the industry professionals, so certainly this will help all the young professors also to come onto the same platform. So that will be another third point, which I assume to take this, the faculty development program forward. As Madam has mentioned about my background, my last 30 years of experience is basically in the field of materials. I would say particularly, because when you say construction materials, it's very vast. But I would say I'm more specialized in concrete materials and concrete technology, and including the construction chemicals. I was very fortunate to work in both the construction chemical industry as well as the ready-mix concrete industry, right from the nascent stage of the industry starting in the country. So therefore, since already a lot of areas the consultancy is happening in the BIT, I would like to focus more today on the construction materials, concrete materials, and I would see that most of this is untapped. Not much of consultancy is happening except maybe a little bit of NDT, non-destructive testing. Other than that, I don't see much of material testing is happening in the institution, BIT. If you ask me, don't we have a lot of laboratories that to enable accredited laboratories in the city? So why do we have to get into this area actually? Yes, you are right. Certainly, there are plenty of laboratories, like any other cities. We have plenty of laboratories operating in the city. In addition to my, experience in the ready-mix concrete and construction chemicals, I would say, 3 years ago, I also had the opportunity to run a laboratory, and it was an NABL accredited laboratory. But I'm no more, a part of this, the laboratory. But again, going back to the same question, don't we have laboratories? A number of laboratories, yes, we have. But how many reliable laboratories that we have in the city? That's very, very, I would say very hardly, it's very few in number. Today I'm talking about as a user of the laboratory over the last 30 years, as the third-party laboratories. I still remember when I used to work with the Phosphor Chemicals India Private Limited, probably 93, 97, when civil aid was also in the nascent stage actually. We always treated them as a consultant actually, not just a testing material testing laboratory actually. We had and we have huge reputation, respect to that institution. We never thought of asking for any sort of favor from the laboratories. Why I'm saying this actually, today, if you look at, like I mentioned already, reliable laboratories are very few number. I'll just give an example. Maybe I would say a couple of years ago, I was talking to somebody, a ready-mix concrete company operating in the city, and he was looking at. He had some issues on the quality-related issues, and I think then a lot of columns have failed in the field. And I understood from somebody. Then I was talking to him, and coolly I was asking, how we are going to, what are the issues? Why the columns have failed? Why the concrete has failed? And that too, the columns are in the initial stages of a big project. Why this is happening? Why this happened? I was surprised to understand that the so-called QA/QC in charge was saying, sir, 50% of the results are, are in the border, and we will manage. I said, what do you mean by we will manage? So he was trying to say that we will organize the test reports. I was shocked to understand that he will try to manage these 50%, the columns, and another 50% he was thinking then how to address actually. Again, he was looking at the shortcuts, how to address these issues. I always keep saying that engineer does one, doctor does one mistake, maximum one patient may die. But when we do mistakes, actually, we don't know how many people we kill. Actually. Therefore, we need to be extra careful. And if at all if there is any issues, we need to raise our hand and say that yes, we have done a mistake, and this is what it is actually, and this is the right time to address. Even in the worst case, if you have to demolish the columns, actually, we must demolish and rebuild the columns. Actually, we can't afford to take any risk in this. So, with this one example, I would say that there are incidents where test reports are given without the samples. So, with all these things, certainly we need a very reliable laboratory, and that if it is coming from a institution like BIT, and nothing like it actually. It's not that the BIT management wants the consultancy do consultancy services. In my mind, certainly the industry also needs the institution like BIT to come out with all these materials. And why I'm focusing mainly on the concrete materials. If you look at the consultation in the field of planning, designing, all areas, we have no major issues because we have good consultants, they monitor very closely, everything is taken care. But if you look at one area, the concrete technology is something we study, I would say, in our undergraduation little, but we spend our lifetime in the concrete. And we try to understand little on the concrete materials, try to understand little on the concrete, and we assume that will be most of it actually. So therefore, it is very, very important for the practicing engineers. I would say even engineers, practicing engineers, having 10 years or 15 years of experience. And if you try to look at their experience and knowledge actually, and one area if they are lacking, it's on the concrete and concrete materials, concrete technology. Thanks to ready-mix concrete industry, which started about 25 years ago in the country, though it exists in the rest of the world more than 100 years. But here, though we started very late, almost 80, 90 years later compared to some of the rest of the world, but industry has grown very, very quickly actually, spread all over the country. Now, if you look at major cities, metros, and 2-tier and 3-tier cities, most of the places we have ready-mix concrete industry. But if we have a ready-mix concrete plant, having best of the plant and machineries, best of the materials, is it a guarantee that you get a consistent quality materials, consistent quality concrete? Not necessarily, unless you have a proper system in place, proper process in place. But to make everything perfect and deliver a consistent quality material, what is very important, what is required is a manpower, a trained concrete technologists, trained concrete engineers, comes with a good experience. So that's what is required. And I would say that's what currently the industry is struggling to get good quality engineers, practically, theoretically, and practically sound. So therefore, if I'm in charge of a QAQC at a project, and if I'm getting the ready-mix concrete, it's 100% not guaranteed that we'll be getting the consistent quality material. So therefore, what is very important, unless I understand how the ready-mix concrete, how the concrete is produced, what are the areas that the things can go wrong. If I'm not aware of all these things, certainly I'll be at the mercy of the ready-mix concrete supplier. Therefore, it's very important to understand the concrete technology. That's one of the reasons I would say I would like to focus a little bit more on the concrete materials, concrete technology. Like I said, we have design consultants, structural consultants, architects, but we don't have concrete consultants. The industry doesn't have concrete consultants. Industry doesn't recognize the concrete consultants, though it's a major construction material that we use in the civil engineering. I would very strongly say that appeal to the industry and the clients, the consultants, everyone, that we must promote involving good concrete consultants in most of the major projects, wherever it is. I think most of these things, let it be surveying, most of these things we are already doing it actually. Like starting from surveying to soil and geotechnical investigation, and maybe bituminous, planning and designing, so some and water resource engineering. Like this, most of these you are already doing the consultancy one way or the other actually. Maybe to some extent, and maybe you can take it to the next level actually. But what is very important is some of the area, if you look at, what are the areas, the other opportunities, maybe untapped areas where you can do the consultancy. If you look at special products testing, like construction chemicals, these construction chemicals, maybe the laboratories, if you look at the existing laboratories, they do chemical admixtures, that is SNF or PC based admixtures. They do as per the IS 9103 or IS 2645. So they do the testing. But when we talk about construction chemicals, there are plenty of products being used. And many of these products, we have to the industry has to either depend only on the IITs in the country or IISc in Bangalore. So that's what we need to depend on actually. But maybe if you take some of the products like, specialty products like waterproofing tapes, water soluble bars, then maybe sealants, curing compounds. So some of these, if you have the testing facilities, if you are able to do it in your laboratory, and I would say it's certainly value addition to the Bangalore industry. And again, I don't look at the BITA as just a testing materials laboratory. I look at your organization, your laboratory as a consultancy in all these areas actually. You must bring in not just doing the testing of the materials that you have received and giving the reports, and we should be in a position to give value addition. And if something is wrong actually, and we should be in a position to advise the industry how we can do it. Actually. I recollect when I was the president of the Ready-Mix Concrete Manufacturers Association, when I represented India in the Iramco, there's a European Ready-Mix Concrete organization which consists of 21 nations actually. I had the opportunity to interact with some professors there in Istanbul, Turkey. I was just asking a couple of questions. One is that I said, how many ready-mix concrete plants, what percentage of ready-mix concrete plants are certified by the third party? And he asked me the question again, what do you mean by it? I said, I'm talking about if you have, say, 300 ready-mix concrete plants in the country, how many of 300 ready-mix concrete plants are certified? What percentage of these plants are certified? Is it 100%? Not less than 100%, it's 100%. So that's the level of the systems they have. Second point I said, you being a professor, what sort of projects that you take up in the institutions? And he was saying, I was very glad and happy to listen to you that most of the projects are identified jointly by the industry and the institution. It's not just only the theoretical project; it's all done between the jointly between the industry and the institution. What I'm just trying to say actually, here you are theoretically very strong, and it should be a solution provided to the industry. There are plenty of unsolved, issues in the industry, which keeps on coming up actually. For all that, if the institution is able to give the consultancy a solution, value addition, I would say nothing like it. Waterproofing, it's again in a very vast field of waterproofing actually. Again, if you are, there are private organizations who are in the consultancy and the applicators, which are there. With all these things, if you, this I would say this is another area. If you can look at whether you can involve this waterproofing area in your consultancy. The next one is the retrofitting, repair and retrofitting of the concrete structures. It's again a very vast field. I don't know how many flyovers, bridges are under distressing and then need for repair. Therefore, there's a lot of testings need to be done, a lot of analysis need to be done, and again the design and the solution needs to be provided. Actually. So therefore, this I would say this again another area. If you are, I think you are not into this actually. So if that is the case, I would say these are the last top three is certainly something worth looking at it. Next one to mention is the industrial flooring. See, now we see the commercial spaces. A lot of inventories are available in the country now with the current pandemic situation. Maybe next couple of years we'll continue to have this situation. We are into many corporates have taken a decision to work from. They allowed the employees to work from home. With all these things, a lot of spaces are available, and physically going to the mall and purchasing all that is becoming very difficult now. Maybe until the entire population is vaccinated, we still will continue to have this unlock and lock-in procedure actually. With all this, what's happening is I am seeing in the industry that a lot of warehouses are coming up across the country. A lot of warehouses, and I am also part of executing some flooring works actually. So this industrial flooring, particularly if you look at warehouses, in the warehouses, what's actually required is, as per the international specification, FM2 flooring actually, which involves the laser screed flooring, then floor grinding, densification, and floor polishing. But here, I would say most of the contractors, specialist contractors, are only designing and doing it now. This is one area maybe you can again look at getting into the design. Structural stability analysis. It will be commercial building or industrial building. So over a period of time, the company, particularly multinational companies, insist on the stability certificate. This is another area you can look at, doing the testings, analyzing the reports, and giving a test certificates on stability. Structural health monitoring is again a very huge scope. Like I mentioned in the retrofitting point, there's a huge scope actually. Therefore, again, structural health monitoring, this is again that's a very vast area, requires time, but it's worth looking at actually. Concrete consultancy I mentioned, RMC plant certification. What's happened? Okay, I'll come to that RMC plant certification a little bit later actually. And again, another area you need to look at is plants and equipment calibrations. If you look at all these, there's a huge scope. Example, concrete plants need to be calibrated at a particular frequency. There are equipments, laboratory equipments, everything. There should be compression testing machine. All these need to be calibrated at a regular frequency. So that's again another area we can look at it. But what's very important is the NABL accreditation is a must for the testing of materials in the industry. And the projects will give the materials only to the NABL laboratories. So even if you have best of the equipment, best of the facilities actually, NABL certification is a must. It's not a, for the institution like BIT, when you have most of it, imagine I want to start a laboratory today. Maybe I need to invest in a couple of crores of rupees on the equipment and need to purchase everything, need to set up the laboratory, need to hire trained manpower, technicians for conducting the materials, everything. But you have everything available in any area, all equipment, most of the equipment I would say, if not all, everything is available in the campus. With this, getting a NABL and a certification, accreditation is not a difficult thing. And maybe there are consultants who help you in getting this certification done very quickly. Maybe in a couple of months' time, you can do it. Actually, 2 to 3 months' time, you can get it done. So what is required is general requirements for the competence of testing and calibration, mainly in the field of testing and calibration. Like I mentioned in the BIT, BIT certainly very reputed institution, all construction material testing under one roof, which I would say is very difficult for any private laboratory to have it actually. Maybe normally they do it in a stage by stage actually. They start with few materials and keep on adding up. And like I mentioned earlier, there's a need for a quantity laboratory in the industry, very reliable laboratory in the industry. And your institution is based in the heart of the city and can add it to many projects in the city. And like I mentioned already, the institution and the industry connector, institution BIT and the industry connect is, I would say, the best in the city actually. And you have a leader, you have principal, Dr. Ashwath, and in any area, any company, you can connect within no time. Very glad to say that. I'm not going in detail about this, but I would like to just touch upon the scope of accreditation. First, physical testing and chemical testing. The chemical testing and physical testing both are very, very important. In case if you do not have facilities to go in for chemical testing, you must organize along with the physical, because any projects what they do, they can't give materials for physical testing to one laboratory, and the same materials they cannot send it to another laboratory for chemical testing. So it becomes a hindrance actually if the laboratory doesn't have the chemical testing facilities. Therefore, I would suggest that when you are going for an NABL, I would urge that you must go in for physical, chemical, non-destructive testing, destructive testing, covering most of the parameters most of the parameters and try and cover it up. And in case if something is left over, you can add it up in the next audit later. The chemical testing, some of the materials are commonly being sent to the laboratories, the cementitious materials like fly ash, GGBS, the microsilica, metakaolin or alpha-fines, etc. Aggregates. Aggregates is something that is very common. Let me fine aggregate and both for concrete sand or plastic sand, etc. I just want to just touch upon on the fine aggregate here for the plastic sand. Though I'm just talking about chemical testing, I would like to just mention that I already said earlier that institution, the laboratory should bring in a value addition, and they are the consultant. Why I mean this actually, if you look at IS 1542 1992, which is a code for plastic sand. So the last edition is 1992. So it is that old, about 28, 29 years old, 27 years old already. With this, I would say when this code was prepared, it was prepared keeping only natural river sand in mind for the plastic plastic sand is concerned. But today, we are not using natural sand. We are using we have the option of CSS, crushed stone sand. I would say that crushed stone sand acceptance is excellent in the industry now, because it's also a responsibility to minimize using the naturally available river sand. So if you look at very good quality plastic sand and test it as per IS 1542 1992, it will not meet the requirements of IS 154. But alternatively, if you manufacture P sand, and if it tests as per IS 1542, and if it is meeting the requirement of IS 1542, I guarantee it will not meet the requirements of a mason for plastic purpose. It will not meet the requirement of an engineer, good engineer, and good mason for plastic purposes. So what is important actually? Whether we have to just our paperwork is important, meeting the product as per IS specification is important, or when we have a real problem, and all of us are aware, should we need to address, sit and discuss with all the associates and take a decision on that. No meaning in blindly using a product as per that particular IS 1542, and still, though it is not, I'm sure your mason will certainly not like it actually, but still, you force upon him to use it. No. So therefore, it's not just testing the facilities, testing the materials. It's also a responsibility to go back and interact with the consultants, interact with the project management consultants, interact with the clients, and tell them this is what it is actually. So the code is under revision, which is going to take time. In the meantime, so we have to make certain deviations, that is 300 microns or 600 microns. We'll have to make certain deviations. Therefore, we must use like this. When the entire deviation discussed and agreed upon, and that's again certainly it's a value addition to the industry. The admixtures, we must include admixtures as per the chemical testing is concerned. Then next, very important is the steel. The steel, and I also understand from Professor Mallikarjun that you are not doing the steel testing. If so, you must include the steel testing right in the beginning itself, because most of the projects, when the steel is delivered at site without getting the test reports, they are not allowed to use the steel in the projects. There are projects where when the steel truck load comes there, they will cut the samples and send it to the laboratories. They expect the laboratories to give the report maybe next couple of hours time. After that, they will get it unloaded. So that sort of stringent requirements are also there actually. So in this situation, if they are sending the steel, and if you have facilities only for physical testing, because you have a universal testing machine, you have all the facilities for doing the physical testing. But if you don't have the facilities for chemical testing, then certainly it will not meet the requirements. Therefore, what is required for the steel chemical testing is one major equipment is the spectrometer. So if you have one spectrometer, and once the sample is cut and ready, in 2-3 minutes you'll get the chemical composition of the steel, and immediately you can take a printout and just mail it to the site. It is that easy. Therefore, I urge upon that steel must be included right in the beginning. Concrete and of course water is a must for the construction purpose, water for the drinking purpose. It's a must. So mechanical testing. If you look at the ready-mix concrete industry, and though I will touch upon a little bit at later stage, but ready-mix concrete industry, they must get their cement, fine aggregate and coarse aggregate, water, admixtures in a third-party laboratory as per the prescribed frequency. They must test a good ready-mix concrete company, a certified ready-mix concrete company must get their plant with the material tested in a third-party laboratory. Therefore, this imagine how many ready-mix concrete plants are available in Bangalore, with that how many laboratories are available. With all that, what's the kind of business available there? Therefore, mechanical testing, you must include fine aggregate, coarse aggregate, cement, all types of cement. Let it be OPC, PPC, PSC. So all types of cement facilities you should have. Cementitious materials you should have, like PFA, GGBS, ulcofines, microsilica, etc. Of course, concrete, admixtures, bituminous materials, soil and geotechnical investigation, mining, rock, steel. So I'm only just talking about some of the basic things to start with this actually for the industry. Then next comes the non-destructive testing. So non-destructive testing, rebound hammer, ultrasonic pulse velocity. This is again being done very frequently in case if the results are in the borderline, no meaning immediately going in for the coarse extraction and testing. So first stage is to go in for the NDT. Still, after the analysis of the results, still it is required. Then one can go in for destructive testing, that's extraction of the core and testing there. So these are some of the things we must include in your laboratory. And if you look at the concrete mix design, see, a very reputed company having a very skilled manpower, reputed ready-mix concrete company, or the construction company having a very skilled manpower, having all the facilities, they have the capabilities to design the concrete mixes, normal and ice concrete mixes. But if you look at the ready-mix concrete industry, I would say maybe more than 80% of the ready-mix concrete companies doesn't have that value. So certainly they have to depend on the third party NABL laboratory. Currently also concrete mix designs are done in the laboratories, but I being a concrete technologist, I'm certainly not happy with the way concrete mix designs are done in any third party laboratory for that matter. Why I say this actually? Because that's how I worked for the last 30 years actually. If you look at, you give the materials, the testings are done, and once the testings are done, in one trial, they do the trial, they check the slump, they cast the tubes, and the mix design is over. So that's not the way of arriving at the final mixes. So even an experienced person will struggle to will take a little time to maybe 2 trials or 3 trials to come out with the final mix actually. Because it's not just arriving at the proportions, and then I don't know how many laboratories will really check the yield before they give the final proportions actually. Because if the yield is not one actually, so certainly we'll end up with the quantity disputes. Concrete mix designs are done even in the laboratories, in the third-party laboratories for the normal grades of concrete mixes, may say up to say about M40 mixes. But there are other areas, even in the existing laboratories, very few laboratories they do the special concrete mix designs. Let it be ice-strength concrete, ultra-high performance concrete, and then high performance concrete, smart dynamic concrete, self-compacting concrete, then lightweight concrete, foam concrete, high density concrete, colored concrete. I would say these are the areas where you can bring in your specializations and then the industry. And we have strong concrete. You don't need any tiles actually. You can do with the concrete, colored concrete, and strong pit and it's a permanent structure. So all these areas, if you look at actually, there's a plenty of scope to harder in the concrete technology. Just a couple of minutes on the ready-mix concrete industry. Today, what's happening in the industry? Somebody wants ready-mix concrete. How is the vendor selection is done? In my mind, it is just based on where is their plant, what is the capacity, okay, the distance is okay, and what is the price. There's absolutely there's no industry user is assumed that when the concrete is coming from the ready-mix concrete industry, it is consistent and good quality concrete. So, like I mentioned, we have best of the plants machineries available, manufactured in India, unlike 25 years ago. With all these, and we have best of the materials available. To take any material, cement or aggregates, anything, we have very good consistent quality materials available. Manpower, like I mentioned, is a question, but yes, we have plenty of concrete technologies advisors available. With all these things, what we have done long back, when I was associated with the Ready-mix Concrete Manufacturers Association, when I was heading the association, we have come out with a quality scheme for certification of the ready-mix concrete plant. We expect every ready-mix concrete to certify their plant as per quality scheme by QCI, Quality Council of India. This is a process certification. Earlier, RMCMA, Ready-mix Concrete Manufacturers Association, was owning this. Later on, we have transferred to the quality third-party certification, that's Quality Council of India. So with this, if I want to buy a concrete, if I'm buying a concrete from a certified plants as per QCI quality scheme, then it is guaranteed that there are processes in place, system in place, and they have the capabilities to produce a consistent quality ready-mix concrete. They can supply you consistent quality material. Therefore, we started insisting the consultants to specify in their tender documents of all projects that they should buy concrete, the contractors should buy concrete only from the certified plants of ready-mix concrete. Why I mentioned this to you while I'm addressing on the opportunities for the consultancy, I would say this again another area for new people, for the institution to become a certification body as per the QCI quality scheme. So you can apply to Quality Council of India and become a certification body, and you can certify the plants. You can certify ready-mix concrete plants. There's no limit. In Bangalore, in Karnataka itself, there are a number of plants available, and certainly the industry is struggling to get good auditors. So with this again, I would say this another area for plant certification. You can include this in a separately. Actually, the procedure, everything is available in the website, Quality Council of India. And anyone wants any information, Dr. Ashwath is available. I'm available. We'll be able to guide on what is required there. I think most of it I have touched upon. RMC industry, there's a huge scope available for the scheme. Then probably you want to give a QA/QC support to not a very reputed companies, but people who doesn't have this art of technical background, but they started their ready-mix concrete business. For them, certainly you can give a QA/QC support. So that's again another area of consultancy. And so these are the RMC industries, your potential customers. Cement and steel industries, your potential customers. Project concrete plants. So a project having a dedicated concrete plant producing, thousands of cubic meters of concrete are your customers. The projects, construction sites are your customers. Construction chemical companies, n number of construction chemical.
You're not audible, sir.
So various government departments, I don't need to mention, on the departments, you're fully aware of these things. So just I would say lastly, so when you have all these facilities, what is very important is actually you need to have dedicated people for doing this, because once it starts actually in a big way, certainly the expectation from the industry is, they want yesterday, not today. So therefore, let it be your QA, QC manager, or the laboratory manager, or the technical manager, or the technicians, or the field engineers, field technicians, they should be available to do the service and bring in the value addition to the industry. I think that's all I wanted to say. If there are anything, then we certainly we can discuss. Thank you all, ladies and gentlemen. Over to you, Professor Mallikarjun.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your presentation. Any questions from the participants?
I would say that we are missing the opportunity to meet each other during this present pandemic situation. But till everyone gets vaccinated, we need to take care of ourselves. And I think these are only, we have to make use of the technology and interact. Yes, please. So to conclude, any support, anything is required, like Dr. Ashwath was mentioning, with whatever my little knowledge and the materials, I'm always available to support the institution. Professor Mallikarjun?
Yes, sir. Sir, I have
will see
one question.
Please.
So how do we approach the material consultation? Like what you said, steel or a concrete or a sand. Like nowadays we have M-sand testing. So have we placed any role in that regard, giving a consultancy for the material testing? Because we have non-civil engineering background faculty in the meeting. So when they are going for their buildings or residential or commercial, what they have should know about the material, whether they are getting the quality of the material. So that we need to.
Yeah. See, as far as these materials are concerned, let it be ready-mix concrete industry or a project site actually, there's a particular frequency, the materials need to be tested in a third-party laboratory. There's already a need for that actually. So we don't need to go and convince them for getting it tested in the outside third-party laboratory. It is already there actually. But now what is important is actually you need to go and market your institution for getting the materials to your laboratory. For this, so certainly, once the NABL, okay. Yes, please. So what is required is actually from the marketing point of view. So you have to go and approach the technical heads of the ready-mix concrete companies, the QA/QC people of the project sites actually, the departmental people, the concerned departmental people, and go with all the scope of the work that the facility that we have, how we are going to make a difference to them actually, in terms of technically, in terms of the services, with all that, how we are going to make a difference, how we are going to make a value addition to them. It's a lot of course, you'll have to, physically you'll have to go and meet, or you use your contacts. So all that marketing is certainly required. Otherwise, it takes some time to get back to you. And it's a word of mouth actually. Once you start doing it actually in the field for the material testing, and one company is doing it actually, if you are doing it for one company, one plant, maybe they must be having 4 plants in the city. All material from all the 4 plants will come to you. With that reference, you can always talk to other companies. And certainly, the marketing tools, the brochures, whatever the brochures are required, we will enable certification is required, and the use of digital media, all that will help in doing the marketing. Yes, please.
Sir, is it NDT test is compulsory if you are raising your number of floors? So out of your design criteria.
See, some consultants, they insist on the NDT. When NDT is done, normally when there are 28 days results are low. Even if it's 7 days results are low, actually they don't do it. And in case if 28 days results are low, certainly the first stage is to go for NDT. But and in case if NDT fails, then the engineer is going for destructive testing, like code testing. But some consultants, some projects, they are going for NDT, even if there are no issues with the concrete, you need to be doubly sure that everything is going all right. From that point of view, they insist on NDT. It's like we taking the casting the cubes and then testing the cubes is mandatory. Similarly, it is a part of the project specification that NDT at whatever the frequency for every floor or whatever the frequency is specified. Actually, it's not in all the projects, but some of the projects it is certainly there.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
So if there are no questions from the participants, so I would like to thank from Bangalore Institute of Technology and Management, Head of the Department, HOD, Department of Civil Engineering, for your lot of information you have given. So we as a civil engineering faculty, so we would like to focus on the particular things what you told. So it is a great experience from you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Namaskar.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
CH Prakash, sir.
Mallikarjun, my voice is audible?
Yes, sir. Yes. Next speaker, CH Prakash, sir.
Mallikarjun sir is there in the meeting. You call him. Call sir once.
Yeah, I'm
Good
going.
afternoon. Gangadhar. Gangadhar,
Sir.
ಇವ್ರದ್ದು ಆಯ್ತಾ ರವಿಶಂಕರ್?
Ravishankar sir just ಮುಗೀತು sir ಇವಾಗ.
So next speaker we have in the line, CH Prakash. Sir is a founder, Nishikon Engineers. Sir working experience 30 years. So he has have good experience with the Bangalore Institute of Technology Civil Engineering Department. Sir has conducted a lot of works for BIT and he has utilized our students for their projects and he has given a lot of technical information to the students and he is entertaining the internship as well. So over to Gangadhar sir, please try to.
Good afternoon all. Hi Gangadhar, it's my immense pleasure to introduce today's speaker, Engineer CH Prakash sir. Engineer CH Prakash sir graduated in civil engineering from BMS College of Engineering, Bangalore. He worked in Fosrock and Megdo Technologies till 2003. In 2004, sir started his own company, Nishikon Engineers. Now it is Nishikon Infrastructures. This company involved in conducting non-destructive test and execution of structural rehabilitation and restoration works all over India. To name a few projects executed by sir is NDT, that is non-destructive tests of earthquake damaged structures in Gujarat, strengthening works of Indira Gandhi International Airport, New Delhi, non-destructive test and strengthening of BNP Bank building, Nariman Point, Mumbai, restoration of Star Hotel project, Chennai, Bungalow project in Salem. Currently, sir is involved in restoration and renovation of UECE iconic building at KR Circle under the guidance of Dr. R. Jagdish. Sir is active in various professional associations. To name a few, he is a fellow member of Association of Consulting Civil Engineers, India, Bangalore Center. He is a life member of Indian Concrete Institute, Karnataka, Bangalore Center. He is a member of Institution of Engineers. He is a life member of in Instruct. He is a life member in Sheshadri from Educational Institution, Bangalore. And sir is recently received a certificate of professional engineer in civil engineering with specialization in non-destructive test and structural rehabilitation engineering from Engineering Council of India, New Delhi. Sir is a member in Association of Waterproofing Contractors, Karnataka State. So with this brief introduction, I request Engineer CH Prakash sir to deliver talk on consultancy opportunities for faculty in the industry. Thank you, sir. And over to you, Engineer CH Prakash. Engineer CH Prakash sir.
Unmute ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಬೇಕು. Prakash, sir, you have to unmute yourself. Sir.
I am audible now.
Yes, sir, you're audible now.
Prakash sir, you have to unmute. Again, you are muted. Gangadhar, unmute ಮಾಡಿ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಯಾರು ಹೋಸ್ಟ್?
Mallikarjun sir.
Unmute ಮಾಡಪ್ಪ. You can do it. Host can do it. Mallikarjun.
ಮಾಡಿದೀನಿ ಸರ್, ಮಾಡಿದೀನಿ.
ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಮಲ್ಲಿಕಾರ್ಜುನ್.
ಸರ್ 4 o'clock ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀವಿ, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕ್ವಿಕ್ ಆಗಿ ಮುಗಿಸ್ಬೇಕು. ಫೋನ್ ಮಾಡಿ.
ಎಸ್ ಸರ್.
ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕಲ್ ಇಶ್ಯೂ ಇದ್ರೆ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಟೇಕ್ ಎ ಡಿಸಿಷನ್.
ಸರ್ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಈಗ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆದ್ರು ಸರ್.
ಹಲೋ
ಹಲೋ ಪ್ರಕಾಶ್, ಗುಡ್ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ನೂನ್ ಸರ್.
Good afternoon, sir.
Balkrishna sir, now I am audible.
Yes sir. Yes sir.
Good afternoon everyone. Good afternoon Principal Ashwath sir, Dr. Ashwath sir, Balkrishna sir, organizing committee members. Hello. Hello.
Yes sir, your voice is audible. Continue sir.
Yeah, okay sir. Sir, thank you very much for Bangalore Institute of Technology for giving me opportunity to this proud moment to share some my expertise. Basically, our firm is recognized in professional engineering and civil engineering specialization in non-destructive testing, rehabilitation of structural engineers, specialized in structural waterproofing and other works. Our expertization is in the forensic civil engineering. Basically, earlier speaker, Mr. Ravi Shankar is my guru in my consultancy firm. I worked under him, and our first guru is Dr. Jagdish sir. I worked in his firm for more than 10 years, executed in the execution of consultancy throughout and all over India in the prestigious projects like Gujarat earthquake buildings, investigation and recommendation of remedial measures and tsunami disaster buildings and so many other projects all over India. And basically consultancy is a service oriented facilities to be provided to the clients for assessment of requirements, practical problems, and to provide feasible solutions with detailed specification for ease and effective implementation of pertaining to projects in the field of civil engineering. Our earlier speaker, Mr. Ravi Shankar, my guru, as I think he has covered almost all field of engineering, whatever the same field I am also continuing. I think 90% of the all data in detail sir has covered. So I will brief about some. Hello. Hello.
Yes,
Sir,
sir,
your
you can
voice is
continue.
audible, sir. You can continue.
Mallikarjun.
You can continue, sir.
Hello.
We can able to hear your voice.
Hello.
Sir, we are hearing your voice, sir. You can continue. Sir, Gangadhar here.
Hello.
Sir, your voice is audible for everyone. Please
Mallikarjun.
continue, sir.
Hello. Hello.
Sir, your voice is audible.
Mallikarjun.
Please continue. Gangadhar is here.
Hello.
ಸರ್ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಸರ್, ನಿಮ್ಮ ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡಿ ಸರ್.
ಹಲೋ
ಸರ್, ನಿಮ್ಮ ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಿದೆ, ನೀವು ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡಿ ಸರ್.
ಹಲೋ ಮಲ್ಲಿಕಾರ್ಜುನ್. ಹಲೋ
Mallikarjun sir, please call to CH Prakash sir.
ಕಾಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇನೆ.
ಹಲೋ ಹಲೋ So in non-destructive specialization, we conduct rebound hammer test, ultrasonic pulse velocity test, on-site core extraction test, carbonation test, corrosion test, structural concrete elements, slabs, beams and columns, and foundations. And foundation soil analysis for recommending and improving the structural capacities of existing structural systems. Our expertise in forensic civil engineering for implementation of structural strengthening using various repair techniques also we recommend, such as resin injection, grouting, post-tensioning, jacketing, externally bonded steel, FRP plates, distress, deteriorated concrete by both mechanically and fashioned and adhesive jointed, and currently in practice with old damaged structures of buildings, bridges and infrastructures. Based on our 30 years of experience in this field and also serving more than 12 to 15 colleges for internship training for diploma, B and M.Tech students. So we sincerely advise even faculty of BIT for this expertise to adopt this expertise forensic civil engineering field and structural rehabilitation field. One of the one of the specialization field in the civil engineering as a better choice. So I think with this, I'll close my talk, sir. So very small this thing expertise only I could be able to give because I'm in the field. I could not able to coordinate much, sir. Thanks for the BIT for giving me opportunity, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Your support
Thanks to the
to the
Mallikarjun.
students.
Thanks for the
Yes, sir.
thanks to my guru Ravi Shankar also.
Okay, sir. So thank you for your continuous support to the faculty as well as
Thank you,
to
sir.
the
Thank you,
students
thank you.
in taking up internships as well as the live projects visit. Thank you so much, sir. Over to you, Nagaraj, sir.
Thank you, Mallikarjun sir. Audience, we have come to the end of today's program. Thank you very much for your patience participation. We will meet tomorrow again at 2 p.m. Tomorrow you will have three speakers, one from electronics and two from telecommunication. And there will be a feedback sent to your WhatsApp group. Please fill it up. Have a nice day. We'll meet tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Thank you. But tomorrow's session will be intimated to you. The links will be sent to you in the tomorrow's morning. Thank you all. Have a good day. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So you can
Thanks,
close the
Mr.
session, sir.
Mallikarjun.
Thank you so much, sir.
So Mallikarjun sir, you can close the session.
Yes, sir.